welcome back to another episode, a quick one on Jeep Torque. I'm going to pivot a little bit. This discussion's not going to really have anything to do with Jeeps, although it impacts manufacturing and emails and basically anything that you do in a corporation today. And what I'm referring to is the data center misconceptions out there. So, what I do for a living, I've been in IT for over 25 years, and one of my specialties is to migrate systems and migrate legacy systems, digital transformations, but particularly migrating infrastructure that's on prem and moving it up into a cloud being AWS or something like Microsoft Azure. That's where I spent a lot of time in both of those environments. And basically, when a couple of years back, or I should say 2 decades back, and even today, you still see this in corporations. I'm dealing with that as we speak. But they would have a closet somewhere. You'd have a file server, router, switches, a print server, and then some sort of application server as well that would house like your ERP, your point of sale systems, any of those critical systems, your critical files, all those things would be somewhere in a closet. And a lot of IT people spent a lot of time taking that and physically getting them out of those corporations, out of those physical locations, those closets, and moving them up into the cloud. The minute you did that, you were in a data center. And then also part of a BCP plan, which is a business continuity plan, there's always an element of IT. You know, if something goes down and it fails in that location, how can we quickly turn around and get that system back up and running and keep the lights on, if you will, and keep the business operating and not losing any money? So all of that plays into data centers. They've been around for a long time. I used to actually go out and set up little critical systems in a space that you would actually rent. At the time, it was raised floors. You would literally take this like suction cup and lift a tile up and make sure your wiring and your power distribution was all set. So there was some work to it, but you would rent a little space. So then you would connect this out via VPN back to your home office. And if something went down, you could easily just move all the traffic to that data center and have everybody up and running. You would use like your VPN at home to access these things locally on prem. So that's been around for a long time, the data centers. You fast forward to today, in the last 2 years, the topic, at least where I work, hey, what are we doing with AI? How are we incorporating it? How can we get the entire company to work in this? If they have an idea, if there's an area that they could go to and start building an artifact in Claude or whatever the case may be. So I started to work on that in the last 2 years. And even with data, using something like Databricks, there was an involvement there too, an AI component, ML component. But that is all part of these data centers. So you really can't move forward and be the winner in the AI race if we don't continue to get these data centers up and built. I just read that it takes less than 1% of the water that's used today in the United States agriculture. It uses less than that. And I also read that it takes more to keep a golf course going than a data center. So I don't know about you, but I definitely want to beat our adversaries. I don't want to be last or second. We definitely have to win this race. So I think there's this misconception that data centers are bad, but they've been all around you forever. This that I'm doing here, everything that we do, everything today is sitting somewhere in a data center. It doesn't have to be AI. It could be anything. It's your email, your file system, your applications, any of those things are sitting somewhere in a data center, including the hosting of your website, your Squarespaces, DreamHost, all of that is all in a data center. So just wanted to put that out there. And how this impacts the Jeep world, manufacturing, they're definitely not having a server on-prem. They probably have a lot of cloud services, AWS, they're leveraging AI. All of that has to filter and route over to a data center. So absolutely in the manufacturing space, even down to the salesperson selling you that Jeep, when they go into that system or they're going on the internet, it's translating back over to some sort of data center. So just wanted to put that out there that this isn't new. It's been around for a long time. And in order for us to win this race, we're going to have to keep going with it for sure. Thank you, and catch you on the next one.